What is going on, everybody? And welcome in to episode number 46 of the new timed pre-patch podcast. We grew a little bit older. It's about 30 minutes older. That's all.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
We're 30 minutes older or over?
30 minutes older. Older.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll be 30 minutes over next time. 30 minutes older this time. But what's going on, everybody? It is episode 46, and it's Thursday, and that means that it's a pre-patch podcast. And there are some spicy topics to talk about. We do have the whole crew back now, right? Like, I think this is the first one, right? Last time, did we have the whole crew? No, last time we were still down a minute.
We were missing Bill, then we were missing me.
Yeah.
Now we're back.
Now we're back.
I gotta go, guys. I gotta go.
I was gonna say we need to kick somebody out here.
We gotta go. So,
yep.
But amidst all technical issues, audio issues, we are still here. And yeah, we're live across all channels, whether it's on Twitch over here with myself and Scruffy and Enigma, or your lives on the YouTubes, holding it down over there with Bill.
Yeah.
Billy the Squid. You can check us all out. You can interact with all of our chats. !show in our channel gets you access to all the different chats, and you know, you can engage with the communities there. And then also too, get to dip out if you just can't catch us live. !podcast in the channel gets you to our Anchor link, which will let you download us across your different podcasting platforms, whether it's Google, whether it's Apple, whether it's Libsyn, wherever you want to be, Spotify's. All that good shit. We're everywhere. You can find us pretty much in the supermarket. I think I saw us in Walmart one time. I'm not 100% sure, but we were right next to the naughty.
I hope we're not in Walmart. Yeah. I hope we're in like Target or something.
Unlike Coke products, apparently, because we have a massive Coke shortage in our area from all of the.
That's cocaine, Bill. I forgot to tell you, bro. That's different kind of Coke, man.
Yeah.
Listen, powdered liquid.
Listen, if you're going to Walmart to get that, like, you're looking in the wrong place.
That's not the good kind of Coke, man. There's better Coke out there than Walmart parking lot Coke.
I'll go over to Sam's Club next time for
there you go.
My uppers.
Yep.
I don't know. I think Walmart Coke would be pretty pure,
I don't.
Right?
No,
I don't think it is, but I don't know.
Waste with some X-Lax, but I need a good poops every once.
Hey, man, it's
Yep.
Laundry detergent. We tried eating Tide Pods. Now we're sniffing laundry detergent. It's all good,
Anyways, next time on Breaking Bad, let's carry on.
Yeah. But it's a spicy show. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of quick hit stuff that's come out. Last couple days have been pretty interesting with news. We're gonna talk about New World stuff. We got DbD stuff. We got Bungie stuff. We've got PlayStation stuff. I mean, it's all over the place. With everything. And then always Twitch news. But again, guys, thank you for being here. And also, if you are listening to us post, the show being live, come and join us live. Like I said, you can engage with the community. We have the chats up. We ask you guys questions. Sometimes the conversation gets really spicy. We get some nudes everyone. No, I'm just kidding. We never get nudes. Don't send nudes. Nudes are not allowed. Unless they're noodles.
Noodles on
noodles.
Yeah.
Noodles.
Yeah,
Noodles are allowed. I gotta remember we're on YouTube now. I gotta keep this like somewhat PG-13.
Yeah.
Fuck it, man. I don't give a shit.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
There you go. But in any case, guys, we start off by talking about Twitch and Twitch news. I don't know if there's YouTube news, but I know Twitch has had some news that's come out.
I've got a little bit of something for YouTube, but it's nothing major, and I don't know a lot of details on it. So
okay,
we might just. Yeah.
No, we're gonna drop it. But well, Twitch is actually not bad news. And I think this is a lot to do because of now with YouTube being pulling more streamers. Twitch is trialing this whole rewind feature where they're actually gonna allow you to rewind your VODs or your live streams.
Live, right? It should
live
be
streams.
live.
Yep, it's all live streams.
So that'll be nice because YouTube
feature.
always has that, right? Just because of their format.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everything's being made into a VOD as the stream goes. So they have that. It's a toggleable option. You can turn it off, but I don't know why anybody would.
Yeah. So you can actually rewind it. Twitch is trialing it out. We're gonna see how that goes. I imagine this will be implemented. It'll probably be implemented right alongside when you can, pay to boost your stream. Just to have, something kind of take the sting off of that. But yeah, I don't know when we're going to get it officially live. They're beta testing it right now with a handful of streamers. you know, and it will go from there. I think it's a good function. Commend them. I don't see why it shouldn't be added in there. There's no reason.
My issue with these beta tests is every time they do a beta test, it's like 6-7 months later before they ever say anything about the beta test. Like with the boosting stream thing, they did the original like with channel points boosting thing like start of the year, like February, and we're just now getting like a second iteration of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is this actually is a feature that it already exists. You just have to go a roundabout way of doing it. Like you just have to click onto the video section and then click the actual VOD of what's being recorded live. Like,
yeah, and you can go back, but you can't. It'll never go forward.
Right? Yeah, you can't get back to live unless you click back out and go back in. So it's just a fucking roundabout way of doing it. So,
but you can't click back to live on the Twitch one.
You can go into the VOD, right, and you can rewind the VOD to a point, but you can't get back to live without going.
It basically takes it from the moment that you open the VOD like that backwards.
Right. That sucks. They really need to work on that because like that is one feature that I do like about YouTube streaming. Is
in theory, it should be an easy feature to implement because they already have that. You know, they just have to allow it to be a seamless transition.
Well, again, this is why, regardless whether Twitch or YouTube or whatever else is a better platform, why there needs to be competition in the waters, because it does not saying that Twitch looked at YouTube and be like, oh fuck, YouTube's getting people because of it. Like it just forces some type of innovation, and this is not innovation. This is the lowest level of fucking innovation.
Right.
Like this is bare
should
bones.
Be a standard of what they all should have.
They gave this to some fucking intern somewhere and was just like, hey, can we get this done? Or whatever. So, you know, but on bigger news, we just got confirmed that we are in fact better than Drop Frames. Can we take a minute and clap that up? Good job. All right. And if you guys don't know what Drop Frames is, I definitely understand that because, you know, we're bigger than them. You shouldn't. I mean, we're the biggest podcast on Twitch. Hello.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. We're actually on the no ban list. Just so you guys know, they can't ban us.
That's gonna change. I'm gonna change that.
So yeah, but that's the Twitch news. Hopefully we see it implemented here soon. Bill, YouTube noob, what is that?
YouTube's just got some botting issues going on.
Oh,
they're somehow
it's the wannabe famous. Issues. If I get one more wannabe famous by your followers, fucking message.
It's what it is it's basically botted accounts that somehow get the verified status, and they're basically farming subscriptions and stuff through comment sections of popular videos because verified users float to the top of a comment section. So people are seeing these verified users saying something or other in a comment section. They go, they click, they sub. I don't know what the purpose exactly is.
Probably to sell the account.
Maybe, but they're all like one name like accounts too, like Ghost or Santa or shit like that. That'll just like randomly.
Account.
Yeah.
They'll just random. Well, Santa was originally called Evil. And then they changed the name to Santa.
So okay,
is the name of the account? Did they actually get the one name account, or is that just the acronym that they go by?
I think that's just the acronym it goes by.
But I was like, damn, if they got the original Santa, like that's impressive, man.
Yeah.
No, but it's really weird. It's something that I'm looking into. I'll probably have a little bit more for it if it's anything worth talking about next time. But it was something that I saw floating around today online, and it was interesting. It's an interesting way of botting because everybody on YouTube has gotten those bots that'll like as soon as you post a video, they'll come in and they'll like comment with a link to something fucking sketchy, and you just spam discard that and it's gone. But
we when we first started posting the podcast up on YouTube, we had one that kept coming in and saying something like stop spamming, and then it was like Spanish. I was like, okay, we're not doing that. Sorry.
So wait, you have them everywhere. You're not supposed to click those links. You're not supposed to.
No.
Fuck, dude. No wonder I'm having so many issues.
Bro. Since a bot, he's been taken over.
That's where you get the Walmart cocaine from.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's where I found my hookup.
You literally have them everywhere, dude. And it comes in every platform. Like I posted the pre-patch stuff on Instagram, and seconds it goes up. Promote your podcast on do. I'm like, oh my god, like that was literally not even like I posted it and they were there.
It's impressive, man.
It is uncanny how fast it is. But this is a different type of bot that I saw, and I found it interesting because it literally is just farming subscribers
Yeah.
off comment sections. You'll go to these channels, they'll most of the time they'll have who is and then the name of the channel, and that'll be their only video.
I give them props for the creativity that these programmers come up with, dude. Like,
It's really bizarre.
yeah,
And like some of them will even go as far as like having like how to's, like how to get famous off comment sections and shit like
Right.
that. It's wild. So if I have more info on that next week or next podcast, I'll bring it up then. But yeah, new type of bot that's kind of been going around YouTube. I don't know if it's been around for a while, but it's just now gaining like recognition. Like people are
Yeah.
noticing that, hey, there's something sketchy with these one name verified accounts.
So did you guys see the I mean, this isn't new, but it's just it's being used in, I know Twitch, I'm sure can be done on YouTube as well, but where people are going in and it's like those buy followers, but this was maybe like, this is like a year ago or whatever else when you could like go in and subscribe almost like a Patreon style to get the it wasn't view botting, but it was like, you know, I don't know what they're called, but they're like follower channels where people would go in and then you just get a mass amount of followers and a mass amount of viewers over a short
I do
period of
remember
time.
that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the thing behind I found out from actually one of my buddies that works in the tech industry that he was saying that people were going in and that they were paying for this and they were actually, first off, dumb enough to put their use their credit card. But the people that used their credit card, they were going in, grabbing the credit card, calling the bank, having the credit card declared as fraud, switching the credit card number, having it sent to their address, and changing the information to the point where they couldn't get, like, it was just months and months and months of fraud on these
that's
things.
crazy.
It was nuts, dude. So like, please don't, anybody that is trying to do any of this, like, don't buy followers. Like it doesn't work. So yeah. I mean, I bought Scruffy. Like I bought Scruffy. That's how
He did.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah. I paid for him, but that was through like Tinder, and it was weird.
Now
It was
he's
just
trying to
wild.
pay to get rid of me, and
Yeah.
it
I can't.
you can't pay that
I
much.
can't.
Scruffy was cheap though. We just bought him I think
Yeah.
a Rocky Road and
Yeah,
Exactly.
some Walmart
Exact-
Coke.
No,
It was
Moose
done.
Tracks. Rocky Road is nuts.
Moose Tracks. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
And it was done. But
Yep.
that's it for Twitch, guys,
was-
and YouTube news.
I was about to say it was Rocky Road for the feed pics
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't get any feed pics. This is bullshit.
because you didn't buy him
Tell
Rocky
him
Road.
about
Get
that,
the
bro.
ice cream, bitch. Low dairy.
Bull-
He's got a sensitive tum tum.
Shit,
Yeah.
I do have a sensitive tum tum. So, all right. So we'll move
Anyways.
on to what we've been playing. It's been kind of a quieter week here on the pre-patch team. A lot of New World, a lot of League, which we'll talk about here. Both of those in a couple seconds. And yeah, we'll and some other games, but we'll kick it off here. Scruffy, you've been playing a game called Poppy Playtime.
Poppy's Playtime or Poppy Playtime. Yeah.
Now, is this Poppy like the musician
This is
slash
no.
YouTuber, like
This is
psycho blonde girl?
This is not your Poppy, bro. This is a puzzle horror game in which you're trying to pretty much get out of this abandoned toy factory.
Is it purposely
And
look like shit, like graphically?
It purposely is supposed to look like shit. Yeah, it's
Okay.
supposed to look like an older style game with the graphics. Kind of like grainy and fuzzy.
Yeah.
Are you an animatronic?
And so
Are you in,
I'm
like, a
not.
suit?
I'm in a suit, yeah. So like these are what you're seeing, and if you're watching live on the stream, you'll see. If you're not, pretty much your character has these two like projectable hands that pop out, and they're pretty much your source of grabbing things and completing puzzles because they also charge stuff and whatnot.
You can
But,
touch the booty from way far away with
You
those.
really can, yeah. They extend, but yeah, like this is it's a pretty basic like horror puzzle game. You go around trying to figure out these puzzles and running away from your main or antagonist being Poppy, and also and there's a creepy guy who is named Mr. Huggy or something like that, and he wants to give you a hug, and he is not fun.
So is this like the new age Five Nights at Freddy's?
Yeah, but it's not like it's free roam throughout this toy factory. You're not like stuck inside of like a room. I never played those. All I know is you look at cameras and whatnot.
Dude, I
Yeah.
fucking hate going through vents in any game. So this is like just giving me like anxiety. I'm not claustrophobic and I don't scare easy, but for some
It's just
reason,
vents?
like
Just-
just vents. Yeah, I don't know why.
That's well. At least we know you're not the imposter.
Right?
Right?
But the main objective is really just to solve these puzzles and get out. And it's creepy for a pretty short game. The game is set up in chapters, and I believe they only have the first chapter released right now, and it's only about like 30 to 40 minutes it took me to complete it. So very short, but I assume it's just an intro chapter, so it'll eventually like throughout get longer and whatnot. But it's
That's
I don't know,
pretty neat.
it's freaky, man. It's just a short little spook. There, if you skip forward a little bit, we could kind of show the people who are watching the stream the real scare parts of when you're actually being chased and whatnot. Because throughout most of this, it was pretty tame. There wasn't too much going on. That was me struggling at a puzzle. Here, right here is good.
God. Okay, I think it's
know.
right here.
Yeah. Yep.
What the
Oh.
fuck is that thing? That's
So that's Huggy.
That's Mr. Huggy,
That's Mr. Huggy,
bro.
and he wants to give you a hug.
God.
That's
give him
actually
a hug.
really. I like that design. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty dope.
it's very creepy.
I'd give him a hug. He looks like he's a snuggly little guy, you know.
Yeah, and for anyone not watching, he's a like 10-foot tall, blue fuzzy, many teeth man thing.
It's like a demonic
And what
elbow,
does
but
Poppy
large.
look like?
And Poppy in this game,
Oh, God, man.
you only see a very like short glimpse of her, but in like a little intro video, she is like a baby doll. So
Okay.
Enigma's
Poppy.
nightmare
So-
fuel.
So Enigma's never playing this game or never
Yeah,
watching.
no.
Oh, he
I
is
would,
following you through that vent. He is way
Yeah.
too tall to be in there. How is that working?
I would
Oh,
not.
he's crawling, dude.
I would not play these games anyways. I'm not a big, in case you haven't noticed, like I know chat. I know you probably haven't tuned in to a lot of things, but I hate jump scares. I'm really not. My heart cannot take jump scares. Like it just can't.
I
hate
love the animation of the we just see like, please, hands, get away from me. He's just like slapping the walls and shit, trying to open doors as he's just
I know.
running away.
There's a comical side to it as well, but it is very freaky in the moment.
Dude,
but-
him bending through those vents. That's why I have a problem with vents. That exact thing right there. That's
Yeah.
giving me anxiety
Of
watching
just
it.
slapping box.
I didn't know what to do here.
The
And there was
sheer
a very obvious
panic.
thing I had to do, but
Oh, that was rough.
yeah.
All right, well. So Poppy playtime.
And that's Poppy's playtime. It's a good little short intro to the game. It's only $5 on Steam, so you know,
Not bad.
coming
Hell
more
yeah.
chapters, I'm sure it'll progress and get better.
You said early access, right?
I don't think it's early access. I don't think they've went that route. I think it's just full
Episodic
release
content?
upon
Okay.
chapters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we also had Enigma doing some
Yeah.
streams,
Oh,
some
yeah.
VR streams to be
Trying
exact.
to. I would preface that with a trying to do so. That was a long day, man. But yeah.
But
Good times.
so Compound. So I actually played this game as well. And now Enigma, he is playing on the demo version of the game. There's a full blown demo version out there that you guys can download if you do have VR for free. But yeah, go ahead, jump into it.
I had a lot of fun with it, man. Yeah, I definitely want to grab the
Can't
full
punch
version because just going through the demo version, you can definitely tell that there's some stuff that they don't have necessarily on the demo version. Just from watching you play it, I was like, man, I didn't have like the mutations and everything like that, but like just the free version itself, they give you a lot of content, man. Like it's a completely procedurally generated shooter in VR, which means that every time you go into the maze or whatever you want to call it, the facility, it's completely randomly generated. It's never the same, you know. Which is cool to me. I enjoyed that. I'm not usually a big player of roguelikes or whatever you want to call them. So this was a big surprise to me, but it's a good shooter for VR. Like
I like how
Very
chat's
solid
like a
shooter.
wristwatch.
that was one of the things that I had so many issues with right there. Was literally getting like if you guys ever think, hey, I'm gonna get a fucking VR headset and I'm gonna stream it on Twitch, don't do it. It's not fun.
Yeah, there's some complications that go to it. I mean, I've spent a better half of over 2 years just working on like actually making it somewhat viable, and it's still a fucking difficult thing to do. you know, whether you have a dual PC, whether you have a
Does
single
it depend
PC
on the
setup.
game, or is it like
Yeah,
just
so,
in
yes,
I
general?
mean,
With
in
chat,
my
yes.
case, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, it's been depending on the game. Like this game ran perfectly fine, but that's simply because it's not a lot. Like there's not a lot to it, right? It's very low poly, it's very low texture. I just literally dodged with my head as that came at the thing.
That's
Sorry.
pretty cool.
Oh, I did that while I was watching it, just barely.
It seems like there's a big problem that I was hearing with like the connectivity of between Oculus.
With
Was
me,
it
at least.
Oculus
Yeah.
and Steam, or like something making it have problems?
Yeah. So like the biggest issues that, and I don't want to get too deep, but like the game is good. It's there's not a lot to it, but I think that it, with the procedurally generation and everything like that, and the mutations, it has a decent amount of content to drop and actually play. And I think it's like what, $20?
Yeah, it's $20. Yeah,
$20
That's
on
a
Steam.
and it's
Good price for
and
any game like this.
It's still getting
So-
updates too, which is nice. They just
It
did an
is still
update.
getting updates. I'm pretty sure that they've talked about wanting to bring in more guns. I think that they need to bring in co-op with this one, man. I think
or
having
even
another
multiplayer, man.
player-
Like deathmatch would be amazing.
Yeah.
Like an
I
old,
think
old
having
school
another
Doom.
player, or like you said, yeah, like multiple people playing, I think it'd be a hell of fun.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause
experience.
the cool thing about the full version of the game, like there's chat mutations. There's mutations that you get to add and put on. So like you can make it to where everybody dies in one shot, including yourself. You can make it to where they don't ever drop any ammo. They only drop new guns. You know, you can turn things into where it's only a compound bow. You move fast. Like there's a lot of different like variations, and it's very old school. Like it reminds me of the Wolfensteins and the old school Dooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you
That's
actually
the
become a dude.
Wolfenstein is the one that it reminded me of the most. I think it's just going in there and just decimating Nazis. But these guys are obviously, I don't know if they're Nazis. They might not be. Who knows?
I mean, we're jumping
I
to
like your
conclusions
aiming
here. but-
tactic. I can tell exactly how you're aiming just by the way your guns are set up, even though you can't
Yeah,
see the
yeah.
arms.
I do the fucking Sin made fun of me for doing the standard hand under the grip, but man,
It works, man.
stabilizes it. It
It's
works
sta-
for
yeah,
it.
it's
Yeah,
stable.
yeah,
I
I
was
mean-
able to get through multiple floors, whereas Sin was only able to
Dude,
get through
you
one.
didn't have to deal with
Right, Sin
them,
kept getting killed by a rat.
bro. It's a rat that spews fucking vomit. Don't this is ridiculous, man.
Listen,
and I also
if
was
you
playing
weren't
on
getting
hard
killed by a
mode.
rat, you were eating other man's hot dogs. I don't know
Yes,
what
you
you were
were
doing.
indeed eating another man's hot dogs. I've never eaten another man's hot dog. I
Yeah.
can
Yeah, I mean, so
proudly say that.
the biggest thing what we'll say is because we talked about VR and we talked about chat. So there's multiple different ways of doing chat in VR. And VR, ultimately, I have said this to people I've interviewed with Xbox, people that I have talked to in general, and I think that we can all kind of agree that eventually VR is where gaming is going to go, right? Like the full blown like immersive experience of being in a headset or being in the game is ultimately what we're going to move to.
There will eventually be a competitive VR scene, and I think that'll be really
There
cool.
already is.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I'm sure there
already
is,
with like
is,
Pavlov
but like
and Arner.
it's not really mainstream. I wouldn't
But
say.
yeah,
Like
I
esports
wanted
ready?
Yeah,
No.
like esports.
I wanted to
type.
get through the review before we started talking about the issues,
Oh, go
because like I want to get through it really quickly. But yeah,
Yeah,
I think the biggest thing about streaming with like the Quest 2 at least is just the fact that the Quest 2's proprietary systems are just, they don't integrate well, right? Like it's very locked down because it's Facebook. Obviously, they're not gonna let you just completely go ham with it, right? But like the biggest problem that I had is like I could use chat on my wrist like that on most Steam games, right? Like that's the whole thing. It's a Steam program. It's called Desktop Plus that I use. That you attach your chat and everything to your
The
wrist, and
headshots.
it works just fine, right? The problem that I had is I bought The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, which is a phenomenal fucking game. I love it. I've only played a little bit of it because I want to play it on Steam or on stream. But the problem with it is that I bought it on Steam. You would imagine that if you bought it on Steam, it would launch through Steam. That's not the case on the Oculus. If you bought it on Steam and you play it on the Oculus, it launches through proprietary Facebook Oculus software rather than Steam, which
Makes no sense.
completely
Makes
negates
no sense
all
at all.
things that I have through Steam.
Yeah, it
Right.
makes no sense. And I mean, most games, what I will say is that they allow you to choose to say, like this compound will say, do you want to launch in Steam VR or do you want to launch in Oculus VR?
Yeah.
Right. The purpose of that is that, like, do you want to run it through Steam or do you want to run it through Oculus?
So at that point, is it a problem with the developers not allowing that?
Realistically, I mean, yes, it is Oculus's issue,
Somewhat, yeah.
I mean, it's a two-sided coin. Like
definitely is.
Oculus should all of the like VR is not in a state where we have the luxury of being segregated. The reality of it is that they shouldn't be. It should be completely everybody playing with everybody. You own a VR headset, whatever. But that's not what Facebook does, right? But the developer could have chosen to say, "Hey, we are going to allow you to launch this in Steam even if you have an Oculus headset." So, but they didn't. They just chose not to, and that caused the problem because it will not launch third-party apps. Like you will like I use a thing called Live through Steam, and I love it. I mean, I can. There's a lot of things I can get to go and do on there. I can go and do a whole bunch of crazier shit than just chat, but it works great for chat as long as I'm inside of a Steam game. As soon as I pop out of a Steam game, then it doesn't
connect anymore, right?
And so
what it sounds like is Facebook is pretty much the Sony of VR games.
What?
But the problem is it's like in most things it works great. At least I have no issues with it. But again, Enigma likes to point out like I am a very niche kind of offshoot because of what I run and how I run it and what I do. But even still, like a link cable to your PC, Steam picks up that it's a VR headset. The games aren't like fucking bugging out and being like, what the fuck? This is like, most of them are just cool. I have an Oculus, it works or whatever. It's just when you start wanting to do other things, like you want to bring in chat and you want to bring in those things, is where, like, honest to God, OBS should just be able to go, hey, cool, here's a button for VR, done. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. Is I just wish that I hope and pray that Facebook or what's it called, OBS at some point makes like an actual app for the Facebook app for the Oculus, so that you can just stream straight from the Oculus. I mean, because it's got enough power to do so. Like,
well, I mean, 100%. Even if it wasn't just that, they should have just easily made a situation where I literally can go no matter where I'm at, right? Oblivious to any of the software. Each company, Oculus, Steam, Valve, when HP, they make it to where literally on your wrist, you turn it like this, it's a tabbable button. Like, it's a button that just automatically, you can attach whatever the fuck you want, right? I mean, that's just it. Like, it should be that. And that's just how it is. But
did you see that multiple juke right there?
Mm-hmm.
Sin can't do that. He can't do that.
I'm very much impressed by your gunplay, and
the game is a lot of fun. And again,
it is a lot of fun. It really is.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, it's been nothing but headshots.
Yeah. It's all about that grip, baby. All about that stability.
That stability, man.
Well, he's been gripping things for a long time. So
all right, listen, you're over here eating hot dogs, so I think
you're over here eating hot dogs.
Hey man, I'm doing what I do.
Get out of here.
But in VR, like, we're gonna be talking about another VR game here in a minute. But it really is. It's a great game. $20 compound. Go download the demo.
$20, well worth it. If you have an Oculus, well worth it. It works perfectly with the VR link or whatever it's called, the wireless one or the wired version. Obviously, if you don't have very good internet, get a wire. But
I mean, I have good internet. I still use a wired.
Works perfectly with the wireless, honestly. So.
Yeah. So that's Compounds. The other one that I also played, or we did, which was another VR game. So this is called Demeo, Demeo or Demeo. I don't know how you want to pronounce it. This game is along with Compound, is a fucking blast. So this was a little bit more expensive, but this one has there's a lot to it, and it's a lot of fun, and it's really cool. So this is essentially if you are a D&D fan, if you are a RPG fan, and you also like the kind of card-based systems, as well as roguelike systems, this is your game. So essentially, you are you play as one of 4 different classes, and you are given a deck of cards. I think you start off with 3 cards or something like that, and you can see and they're on your hands. So there's 3 cards. I'm playing as a rogue. Your objective is basically to go through the floors. And I think the first level, like, there's 3 floors. And I was playing with Ataxius, one of our viewers, and you each take turns, and you have different cards, and you're running through the dungeons, and there's monsters, and AoE abilities and all this other kind of cool stuff. And the cool thing I like about this is this right here. Like, you really can get like down and dirty into the actual dungeon themselves, or like you can be like way on top. Like, you know, you don't have to. The perspective is all you. And when you do something, you're playing the card out of your hand. You're playing what you want to play. So like right here, I think I'm about to play Sneak, and my character goes invisible. And each character has a each turn or a certain amount of turns, they get like one reusable ability every single time. And they do different things. There's archers, whatever else. But you actually physically roll the dice too. So like whenever you do cast a spell, you physically pick the dice up and you throw it, and it will land on whatever else. Like, it's just and you can pick up the items, you can see what they do, you can pick up the characters, you can see what they are, what their weaknesses are. It's just fun, man. It's a blast playing.
Looking forward to getting it. I'm planning on getting it either tonight or tomorrow.
I really hope you get it tonight, because I'd love to play
Tabletop
with you.
Simulator have a
Yes.
VR compatibility?
They do.
Yeah,
Yep,
they do.
They do. Yep. So essentially you could do this.
This kind of shit I'm all about. I love tabletop aspects of stuff. I don't do it enough in person, but this is neat.
Yeah.
This right here, like when we were looking at it, and when Sen brought it to my attention, I was like, yeah, this looks like I kind of dumbed down version of D&D.
Yeah,
like it just reminds me of a dumbed down version of D&D, and not in a bad way, like it a very good way. That's one thing that we're missing in the gaming sphere right now, is like a good online D&D top down tabletop game.
right.
Yeah. And I mean,
that isn't on what's it called, tabletop sim.
The cool thing about this that I like as well is that there's an aspect of the Slay the Spire kind of style, where you're building your deck or your deck building, because as you progress through the level, you get to spin your gold. So there's gold all around the map, and you collect it. If one person collects it, everybody collects it, which is nice. But you go into a card shop that you then get to buy your cards, and you can have a total of 10 cards in your hand. And they can be potions, which are one-time use. They could be things that are like in stat bonuses to increase your damage or increase your speed, that are permanent until you die. But you can sell cards and all those and buy new cards. And there's a lot of elements around your build. And me and Ataxius played, and I can tell you right now, it ramps the fuck up. Like, it gets very difficult very quick. And there's some, I don't want to say cheesing moments, but like one of the playthroughs we did, I was a knight and Ataxius died, and you can die up to 3 times before you're out, unless you get unless you beat the level, and then you come back. I believe you come back if you beat you do. You come back if you beat the floor. But I was just basically running to outrun the fucking champion, or like the end boss, to a point where I could try to kill it. Now the kicker here is that you don't get cards constantly. You have to kill things, and if you look over at my hand, whenever I show it, there's like a blue bar that's filling up. You have to kill things to be able to raise that blue bar to be able to get a new card. So you can't just sit there and cheese it by running around. If you've, like in that situation, I killed everything in the room, nothing was spawning. All I could do was try to run until I could figure out how to bypass this, and I figured out a way to doing it, but like it was still difficult. So it's cool. It's a lot of fun, man. Graphically, it's absolutely gorgeous. The only downfall I'll say to the game is that it's a lot of looking down. So like
that's what I was gonna point out, is I love watching you play this game in your little camera, because it looks like you drop something and you're just looking for it, like you're lost.
It's like that meme that it's like that meme, not Sylvester Stallone, but what's the dude from Face Off, where he's like he's in the suit and he's looking around. Yeah, Travolta.
From Pulp Fiction. Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. It's just like, where to go? What?
I love it.
So yeah. So I mean, it's that is the only downfall. If you're sitting, you can obviously play this as a seated experience, and realistically, there's no reason not to play as a seated experience. I just popped it on as standing, but you are constantly looking down. Now you can like rotate the table completely vertical, to where you're looking at it on a vertical plane, and that's fine, but it loses some of that. To me, it loses some of that element of tabletop. Like, I'm not fucking playing a tabletop game like this, right? So once you sit down, it's better. But after a while, it will hurt your fucking neck if you're just standing there. But But goddamn, man, the game is fun. It's a blast. It's cool. Like here, you can see like I'm really down in the dungeon, looking around, checking corners, you know, all of that kind of stuff. It just is a blast. It's fun. It's just
really
it's a
cool.
lot of fun to play. So I really do hope you pick it up tonight, so we can play. If not, like I said, we can play tomorrow. But
I might pick it up as soon as the podcast.
Are you sure you're not just gonna play League?
no, we're not going to play
No,
League.
definitely not.
But it's a good segue. Thank you for that. Great segue, Bill. But DeMayo,
Got you.
$30, by the way, $30. It is a little pricey. It's a little pricey.
for what you get.
Yeah,
But I'm telling
on
you-
sale right now,
I
though,
looked at that.
$26.99.
Is it on
Yeah,
sale?
I looked-
Motherfucker!
What's that?
It's on sale for $26, dude. I bought it
Okay.
yesterday.
37.
Hell yeah. We're gonna go and pick it up now.
Ah, damn it, man. All right, well, fuck. Well, at $3.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you wait.
Yeah, but I'd still be more than happy to support a developer like this than to support
Oh,
Riot.
100%.
Than to
Yeah,
support
100%.
Riot, because
Yeah.
you know what? Fuck Riot. So the other game that we have all been playing, I think, minus Bill. Bill, actually, did you jump into League and play League a little bit, or no?
Not recently. No.
Okay,
Not
so
since the last time we played, I think, right?
if you
Yeah.
if you have viewed one of our 3 streams, we've played League, and I think last night hit a nail on a head for a lot of us that, if not all of us, that have kind of been boiling over.
That was fine.
Okay, well.
I was playing Echo and
Scruffy
living my best
Scruffy
life.
was fine. Scruffy was in the jungle. If you're a jungle player, it's not that bad. But
No.
if you're
Yeah,
anywhere
it's pretty
else,
good right
if you're
now.
anywhere else, it's miserable.
I
And
hear
here's
top lane is misery right now.
well, the whole game has become miserable. And I mean, look, I've got it fucking on my back wall. I've got League on my back wall. I've been playing this game since it was an alpha. Narrowly, I love League of like the concept of what it is. The part that we are all pissed off about is just, and it's not even just us, it's the community as a whole, is where season 11 has gone. And they have taken, Riot has taken season 11 to a point where I don't know. It's just not fun. It
It really sucks because they haven't added any more Echo skins, and that's where it really gets me.
yeah,
like-
boo hoo. Boo hoo, you don't have Echo skins. But
I'm sad.
I think the one thing I'll say to
But
sum
you
all
got
of
some
this,
dirt coffee to drink.
yeah, the one
Yeah,
thing I'll say
somewhere.
to sum this all up is they just announced their patch, which great. You know, we were like all hyped because they were launching this patch, and it was like cool, getting rid of all chat. Which, if anybody knows, all chat is fucking chat in general is just garbage
Toxic. It's all
in
toxic.
fucking League.
Yeah.
But they got rid of all chat, which was a step in the right direction. But in one of the patch notes, they buffed Teemo. So Teemo in general, no one likes. Everybody hates Teemo because he literally is the embodiment of toxic. I mean, that's what his character is. He's just a toxic
That's
character.
why he has a skin, the little
Um,
devil.
Yep. But in the patch notes, they literally talk about why they buffed Teemo to a point that he pretty much is just has become one of the best characters, if not the best character in the game. Where it says in there, because he's not being played a lot, we're bringing him back so that he can be the annoying, and I'm not joking when I say this, annoying strike through powerful again. Like, that one phrase to me summed up this whole thing, and I was basically like, cool. I think I agree with Enigma. I'm done for a little while. Like, when you are acknowledging the fact that you're buffing a character because you feel like they need to be annoying, you know that they're annoying, you know that they're frustrating, and like you're making a joke out of it, you know what you're doing. I'm good for a while. I'll
Have
be
they
back.
changed Shaco at all?
Have what?
Or Shaco's like still the same?
He's still the same.
Yeah,
He's still
the same.
toxic.
He's-
Yeah, he's
right.
still toxic.
I was
and
about to say,
powerful.
whenever I think of toxic in League, I think of Shaco and I think of Teemo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
My biggest thing I think right now is just like exactly like you said, like they chose Teemo to buff. Nobody if you gathered 100 League players, 1,000 League players, and said, hey, what's your opinion on us buffing Teemo? Nobody would be like, that's a great idea. Let's do that. Everybody would be like, no, bro, fuck that.
Right. So,
Yeah.
and that's the thing is, like, for me, they, you know, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because this was not in our fucking thing to talk about, but like, like they
It needs
changed.
to be said.
Well, I mean, I think it does, but like, it's not going to matter. But like, they said that they changed the item system to add mythics.
Yeah.
And the problem is that it, in turn, the start of that led to what you have now with Teemo, where because of mythic items and the ability to then a mythic now adds a certain thing like ability haste, which causes a cooldown on your abilities to go lower and lower for every single legendary that you have. right? So what that allows Teemo to do now is to be able to spam his fucking Q instantaneously. I mean, he could just sit there and just hit it Q, 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 to the point of being able to take a fully, he could be at like a sliver of health and take a fully blown, decked out Caitlyn all the way down to 0 with no problem. Like, so instead
And
of,
she's blind, so she can't fight back.
right. So instead of taking champions, instead of saying, you know what, we're going to leave the item system the way it was, which I had no problem with the way the item system was. I think they leave it alone. You go and you fix your champions. You have a slew of champions that need to be fucking reworked and fixed, but they don't do it. They don't do it. They just they choose and they buff and they nerf based off of the fucking 1%, right? The top 1%. And no, I'm not talking about taxes. I'm talking about league. The top 1% of people that are in worlds or whatever else. Those are people that are getting nerfs and buffs. Well, that's not your core player base. I'm sorry, but people that are in diamond or masters or whatever else, that's not your core player base. Like, it's just not. You know what I mean? So it sucks. I mean, it just sucks. And I think Dota
was the meta in a place where ADCs were too strong
for
right now. No.
Right.
for League. I'm trying
right
to
now
think of a
or
reason
previously?
why they would buff Teemo's Q, and shutting down ADCs is literally the only thing I could think of. For
Yeah, no,
buffing Teemo's Q.
ADCs have been pretty much nerfed pretty hard, unless you're very certain ADCs.
I mean, it's you're only right now the only viable ADCs that you can have in a bot lane is Aphelios, Misfortune, Vayne, or not Vayne, what the fuck, Varus, and
Akshan.
maybe, but he's like, if you're talking about like real play numbers,
Well,
I mean, and Draven, and that's it,
They nerfed Akshan,
right? And
They did, yeah.
and
No.
Draven. So like,
which is one of the best nerfs. I mean, he needed it, but
Yeah.
like that's it. Like bot lane is a fucking misery. Top lane is a fucking misery. Mid is okay. Mid gets some play time. You get to play some cool things, but that's it.
Who's in top right now?
It's
That's
your
just-
now it's set is so fucking set. If he gets 2 kills, it's over. He's a raid boss. He's unkill. We tried to
still,
5-man.
it's still set. It's still Garen. It's still Darius. It's all like the top 3 right there.
Right. It's still that same thing, and that's the thing about it. That's where I commend Valve for what they do with Dota, and I wish I could get back into Dota, because Dota gets 1 to 2 characters a year total. Like that's what you get every at all, and they don't do these fucking massive swing patches or whatever. They actually, if they do a patch, it's an update for almost the entire fucking roster that they go through and they tweak stuff and they whatever else. It's crazy. It's just, I don't know. So I'm gonna wait till after Worlds. I'm done with League until after Worlds. I may be done with it until season 12. Stevens, you should be very happy.
I've said it time and time again. Whenever I did play League, the best time to play League was mid-season.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Right. So
Dude.
it sucks. And honest to God, I think a good way of fixing this too, bring back goddamn Twisted Tree Lines. Bring back
Yes.
3v3. 3v3 was a phenomenal playlist.
Everybody's been asking for it. I don't understand why Riot is so uptight about not bringing it back.
Because they don't
I
want
don't
to put effort into balancing it.
I hate it, man. I love the game to death. I really fucking do, but I can't stand.
I don't even think it was that hard to balance. Like the way they had it forever was fine.
I think my biggest issue right now is definitely just the player base. Like the player base is just I don't know what it is. Mid-season and start of the season, they were toxic, but it wasn't that bad.
Well,
But it's like everybody has forced themselves to play through an entire season of just being screwed hard royally every fucking time they go into a match, and now they're all just toxic little fuckheads.
Well, that and the nail for me, and I'll be done with this conversation, is that the game Riot has forced the game into a state where you get 5 bans total out of a roster that's fucking, almost probably close to 200 long, right? So you can ban out 1 toxic champ, but there's 7 other toxic champs that you have to deal with. And the roster has gotten to a point now where it's like, you're only like the meta is you play these champs and that's it. And every single game you can almost go in and be like, okay, cool. I'm going to see these champs, right? These are the champs I'm always going to see every single fucking time, whatever else. Like, it's annoying. Like 1 out of 5 games, I'll see a Yi, I'll see a Warwick, I'll see a Nocturne, I'll see a fucking Ashe, I'll see a Caitlyn, I'll see a MF. Like it's guaranteed a Silas, a fucking Garen every fucking time. So anyway, it's League. Yeah. All right. We're gonna go back here and actually do this so we can talk about this little vid. But we've got Battlefield. And we're moving into the news section, by the way, now. But Battlefield Hard Zone, or Hazard Zone, not Hard Zone. Hazard Zone. Battlefield Hazard Zone. If you are familiar with 2042, obviously they're coming out with the game here in a couple weeks. I'm super excited for it.
Hopefully it's better than what was
I
playable.
didn't mind the beta.
Hopefully
I like the
some
beta.
things. It had some issues.
Oh no,
it,
for
it
sure.
It was decent, but they need to fine tune it.
But it's definitely
And I hope it
Battlefield.
does get the fine-tuning.
I'm so used to Battlefield being fucking janky and wonky and weird and whatever else, especially their betas. Plus it was a 3-month-old game. Why we got a 3-month-old beta, I don't fucking know, but that's what we got. But what we're talking about here is they announced Hazard Zone. This is their new competitive mode. It is 8 teams of 4, I believe. So I think 32 players total, or 8 teams of 4, right? Or 3. I can't remember. I think it's 4. It is 4. 8 teams of 4 players go into a map. And essentially you go in with gear that you've purchased, based on how well you do inside the mode. Each team is after a certain amount of drops, that are coming down from, the sky and these satellite drives. There are 2 extraction points. The objective of your team is to get as many of the, drives as you can and get out. And you get paid on what you get. The cool thing about it is that you're only able to hold a certain amount of drives, and you can buy extra spots within, the money that you earn from the game, not outside currency. But you get to, you can, gear your person to be like, I want to hold 6 drives, right? You could gear and say someone needs to be the medic, someone needs to be whatever. So, you know what I mean? Like that's the, the kind of, concept there. The cool thing about it though, is like, if you die, you lose your shit. Like now there is insurance that can be purchased, on the weapons and items, but just like you can kind of in Tarkov and things like that. But, it's supposed to be a more tactical version of Battlefield, which I'm excited for. I think this mode sounds really fun.
The question I have is, do you think that it will actually be a more tactical version of Battlefield, or do you think it'll just be people Twitch gaming the fucking thing up and just treating it like another battle royale?
I think it'll be a mix of both. It won't be as tactical as Tarkov. No shot. Right. But I think it'll have a good mix, because you still have that sense of gear fear. I don't know how severe it is, but it'll still be there. So sure, you'll have some dudes dilly-dallying, running around like it's just another game. But if you have the tactical player against them, I'm sure the tactical player wins every time.
Okay. I mean,
is it a PvEVP?
No, it's straight. It's straight PvP. Yeah, it's straight PvP.
We should have added PvE into it as well.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I like, again, we don't know how big the map sizes are. We don't know what that's going to look like. I mean, obviously, again, 32 players. There's 2 extraction zones. I think that this adds an element of fun and difference from Battlefield, because most people look at Battlefield and they go fucking chaotic, crazy, over the top warfare. This brings this a little bit more home. I'm excited for this game mode. I think that this is a game mode that, like Enigma, you would really like. Versus kind of getting into those big ass battles, where it is a little bit more on the more tactical side of things versus just like.
That's why I asked it, is if you thought that it would be more as tactical or as close as tactical as what's it called?
I don't. Yeah, it won't be Tarkov. It won't be Tarkov.
Because that's one thing that kind of shies me away from Tarkov, is just how insanely tactical it can be sometimes.
No, I mean,
I think I would personally rather play something like this, where it's a little bit more arcadey, but it's got just that touch of like you need to know what the fuck you're doing and not be a complete idiot.
Yeah.
Well,
to do well,
The thing that I like about this and what excites me about it too is I think that Battlefield, in its core, is a really cool playground, because there's just so many different things you can do. And so like this, like we just saw, where we had a sniper up top, a dude in a wingsuit, a guy coming down, right? And those are all things that what they have described is you have to purchase. So you literally go in with a pistol, and
wait, you have to purchase the vehicles as well?
I don't know about the vehicles, but like the guy going in the wingsuit, that was a purchase.
Oh, okay.
That was a purchase.
I was about to say, I don't know if I like the vehicle purchases, but
no, I don't think that there's that.
Well, who knows? Because you can like call down vehicles in the main game,
right? In the main game, yeah.
So I don't know.
Maybe
I don't
we don't
know.
know yet. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
That'd be
know
kind of
what
interesting, though. I mean, that would be an interesting, you know, if you're good enough and you can get like a nice tank, you can just kind of fucking mow through everybody.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. Like I said, either way, I'm excited for it. I think it's a cool little thing. But they introduced that.
I
so.
think this game mode seems like it would be right up my alley, whereas the other one, the portal or whatever it's called,
Yeah,
not so much.
that's why I'm really excited for Battlefield 2042 because honestly, they're giving everyone a slice of cake. You know,
True.
there's a little
Very
bit of
true.
everything for you. You know, if you want the just Battlefield experience, go play the base game. If you want Portal and play
Very
wacky
true.
game modes,
Right.
you have that. And now you have this, which is a little taste of like Tarkov from the more like tactical player base. I think it's a good idea.
I still think it would have benefited from a little bit of PvE mixed in there. Just I don't know how big these maps are going to be, and if it's 4 teams of 8, the matches might go pretty quickly.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not. It's 8 teams of 4.
Well, still, that's.
I mean,
I
it's
still
still
think the
it's
matches
32
could
players.
potentially go pretty quickly.
I hope it's not like very large size maps. I think it would feel a little lonely if it was.
I mean, from what I've seen, like just the gameplay alone, it seems to be a slice of the map.
Yeah.
That it's there because again, there's 2 extractions. There are multiple satellites that will continue to fall, so you kind of have to judge whether you want to get out and cash in, or you want to stay and try to retrieve more loot that also have different rating value limits, which is also kind of cool. But I think we'll have to see right on the PvE element of that of how it kind of feels, because also too the map still has the dynamic like tornado that'll fucking drop down, and like the changes that'll happen to the map as the game kind of progresses too. So I'm like I said, I am looking forward to it, and I think like Scruff, you said, there's enough there for everybody. So
Yeah.
Bill, are you I don't even know, are you a Battlefield person or no?
Not really.
No. Okay.
I'm honestly, Siege is really the only shooter I've ever like really got sucked into. I tried Warzone for a bit. PUBG was it for a while, but I played it third person. I tended to play third person shooters more than first person. Siege is really the only first person shooter that I devote any time to.
Well, on the Siege Ubisoft kind of time line that we're talking about, Splinter Cell, new development, right? Tony, I know that you and I have talked about this in numerous fucking conversations about wanting to see a mainline Splinter Cell game.
Not like these though.
Yeah, I don't think that I have no faith in what they're about to do.
Not in this era of Ubisoft.
So, yeah, I think Bill, you broke this story for us. Do you have any kind of details on this?
The only thing that's confirmed is there's a new Splinter Cell. That's all they've said. They haven't said what kind of game it's going to be.
Battle
They
Royale.
haven't said it's not going to be Battle Royale because that's Ghost Recon.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Are we getting? We are getting.
I have a feeling it's going to be like a PvP mode, though. I have a feeling that it's going to be most likely a spy versus spy, extraction versus extraction, like one team trying to extract something, one team trying to prevent the extraction, that kind of thing.
So like Robin Hood.
So is this going to be though? This is separate from the virtual reality one that's being made, because there's a virtual reality of VR Splinter Cell being made.
That.
So this is separate from that. Okay. And this is a, I don't know. The problem is like I'm reading through this and it's like all these things are pointing to shit that I'm just like, please no, God, don't go down this route where they're like, people aren't interested in single player stealth action games. Like, yes, we are.
As soon as you broke that, like I had to go on Twitter because like 100%, this is not gonna be this is not gonna be the Splinter Cell.
I wouldn't even. I honestly don't even think Sam Fisher's going to be part of it. They've integrated him into the Rainbow Six Siege world.
This is 100% going to be a cannibalized fucking hodgepodge of what the current rendition of Ubisoft feels the player base wants from Splinter Cell, and I guarantee you it will be some kind of games as a service bullshit.
So we're gonna get an open world, massive or battle royale style, free to play, microtransaction RPG with wingsuits and what else? What
you have to deliver babies.
Deliver baby? Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Deliver babies.
Throw that in there.
All right.
With ones that you can summon down gun emplacements.
Okay.
Out of thin air.
Cool. Awesome. Anything else? And you can buy levels, right? We can pay for
And it's
levels.
Pong.
I think we've included everything that Ubisoft has done at that
Yeah.
point. So, man.
Biking
Biking.
and
Yeah,
skateboarding.
biking. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
snowboarding,
Yep, we gotta add
biking.
that. I forgot about that.
ATVs.
Yep. Okay. So Sam Fisher on a BMX bike. So he's gonna be doing a double backflip into a wingsuit. He's gonna fly down. He's gonna wall bang somebody from Rainbow Six. Then he's gonna jump into
dive into the ocean. He's
dive
gonna go
in-
scuba
dive into the
diving
ocean,
for a little
yeah.
while, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Cool. Okay. Cool. I'm in. All right. If you covered all bases, I'm in. All right. Well, that's something. Splinter Cell is being
Right.
developed.
It's a thing.
We'll see what they do, but I have very low expectations of it. My bet is it's going to be a PvP like teams of 2 or 4 versus teams of 2 or 4, like extract versus defend type
More than
thing.
likely. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't mind this. I like the Spy versus Merc stuff from Pandora Tomorrow, and
I have a feeling it's going to be expanded free to play version of that.
that's not going to be good. I don't trust Ubisoft anymore. So, yeah. Okay. The other game that we've been playing is New World as well. And this comes in with news. Did you say that?
Bleh.
Don't.
The game's having some issues. It's
Okay.
sick.
Yeah,
It's
so
it's got a little bit of a sick
Yeah.
to it right now.
So this game right now is
Unplayable.
it's not unplayable. That's
No,
not
it's
true.
not unplayable.
It's not unplayable.
I know.
So where do I start? All right, the game is fun.
Did you first off before we get it, did you see the updated? portion
Yes,
that
I saw the
posted
thing
it?
that you
Yeah,
sent. So the game, like I praised Amazon. We praised Amazon for they at least launched a game that has lasted longer than a week and has stayed afloat and is popular. Let's
It's
just
got
say
a
that.
good player base. It's got a lot.
It's got a good player base. It's fun to play. It's a good time.
Yeah.
The problem is right now is that the game is fucking plagued with a lot of bullshit issues that it should not be plagued with, that should not happen. Now, the gold duping, stuff like that, like, come on, fucking every fucking game under the sun that is in an MMO world has had gold duping. Now, I'm not excusing it. It's still a fucked up bullshit issue, especially when you're talking about like server transfers and you launch server transfers and it's like
And
you
then
then have to take them
because
down.
of the gold
duping.
Yeah,
Literally immediately.
immediately take them down.
Speaking of server transfer, one of our viewers, Obi, did you get a server transfer before they took it down or no? That was my
Yeah,
question.
so we had
we talk about.
Yeah, the other issue that you've got is that the game. So everyone understands, and I said this last time, is that this game is an MMO RPG, but is heavily based on a PvP kind of element too. Like the game at its core is around these wars and stuff like that. So there's two things that come into this. The problem with this, one, innately, like again, like MOBAs, you're gonna start to envelop your community in some toxic behavior. Luckily, on the server that we're on, Yaxi is actually kind of its own little bubble. And I swear to fucking God, nobody better fuck with it. Like, aside from me killing fishermen, that's about the worst problem that our server has.
It's actually the biggest problem.
It is. I mean, it is the biggest problem that our server has. But
yeah, there's no fishermen anymore.
yeah, nobody fishes at the spot that I warden at. So,
So just so everybody knows, in order to continue talking about this, and then when we're talking about you killing fishermen, you have to refer to Sinan as warden.
warden. I'm the warden.
From now
I
on.
am the warden. That's what I do.
He's definitely not got a big ego on that one, does he?
I'm just saying.
not
You
at all.
guess what? People in that fishing hole, they unflag. If you flag up in the fishing spot, I'm gonna come and kill you. That's just the rule. It's just a rule. It's just the way it is. So anyway, okay. So you have stuff like what chat's talking about, where you have servers that are made with, that are completely, because the game was so popular, they opened up all these servers. Well, because all the servers got opened up, they got completely flooded, and now you have dead servers where people are just not doing shit. And they're like one side is just completely taking over the entire thing, and now that's a problem. You also have servers where there's, racist, homophobic, Nazi, neo-Nazi parties that have taken over the entire server. So that's its own issue. But aside from those small things, no, the other thing that happened this week was that New World came out with a patch, right? The reason for the patch that came out started off because of a invulnerability issue, which I do not even know how it fucking passed through anything. But the fact is that if you minimize, or if you go into a windowed mode, the game still runs, but it runs in the sense of seeing you as like some kind of timed out status, but like you're still in the world functioning. So literally in the middle of war, you could just basically go and do a borderless or a windowed screen and be invulnerable.
You have to be borderless window, and then you have to move the window around in order to be invulnerable. But
right.
yeah.
But in the middle of a war, you could eventually
in the middle of a war, you can be immortal.
Right.
That makes no sense. How that even happens.
Right. So I don't.
That's
so
wild.
they patched.
The worst part about that is like the only thing that you need to win a point is somebody on the point. Right. So literally, you just stack up a bunch of people and have them go and move their fucking their window around like Tourette syndrome addicts of cocaine from Walmart, and they're
Right. Throwback.
So the thing about it is that, and again, I don't know why and I have not experienced war, but from everything that I've talked to and seen, and people have mentioned about our server, like I said, has been a bubble for this. Like we've not seen a lot of this occurring, but in other servers, it's rampant. Now again, they patched it, but people in chat are still saying that there are still some issues and it's still glitching.
Well, from what I had heard, there's still some ways around that patch as well.
Yeah. So the other side of this was that there was a shadow nerf that was done. Now this is where
that's never good.
Yeah.
Also,
so this is where me and Enigma will agree on something, but probably after this we're going to disagree. And we had a long argument actually off stream about
discussion.
But they shadow nerfed healing and
AoE damage
and AoE damage.
Ice Gauntlet.
Now, during the patch, they came out, and during the patch, they came out and announced what they had done, but they got found out about it, and then they announced it. Would they have ever done it before? Who knows? But you should never shadow nerf anything. Be open and front with what you're fucking doing. What they changed was basically, and I don't have a problem with this, and now this is where me and Enigma will disagree. I don't have an issue with it, but essentially, the way that healing and damage in this game, or healing in this game works specifically, is that is based off of a buff. So you go into a healing circle and you achieve a buff. The buff goes up, you get Sacred Ground, the buff goes up, you start to get your healing, right? What was before happening, what people were exploiting, was that they would just basically spam the shit out of all of the AoEs and crash people out and basically server lag or glitch or lag them out, which is another fucking problem. It's AWS, Jesus Christ. You can handle the whole entire world being on your internet. This shouldn't be an issue, but it was. So the way they fixed it was to say, okay, only one buff can be active at a time. So whenever if two healers lay down a fucking circle, right, you're only gonna get one buff. You're only gonna acquire one. And if you go from one circle to the other circle, right, the buff is going to basically reproc, or it's gonna reset, but you're not gonna get double buff. You're not gonna get double heals. The same thing with damage. If I have an ice like damage AoE going down and somebody else lays another AoE damage on top of it, it's not gonna work. So wherever it overlaps, it does not do double damage. It does single damage. There are people that are pissed off about it. I think they're being a bunch of whiny ass babies. That's just my opinion about it. Because I can go into any other MMO and play it, and I can't get double heals. I can't get double buffs. I can't get, any of that kind of stuff. So
see, exactly.
You can say I don't main a healer.
It's
exactly
the same. I mean, the same buff. You can't get the same.
You can't get the same buff. You can't.
There's other buffs, right?
Me and Obi, we on the same wave. Like, no, there really isn't. Honestly, with healing, it's pretty.
I thought there was a protective boss too.
I mean, there is, but nobody really uses them because they're not the best.
Well, I mean, still, if you have one healer that's devoted to healing and another one that went down the protection line, then that right there already gives you an advantage against a team that just has a healer.
So the issue,
I don't know.
The issue that the problem that people are having, and you can sit here and say, you can come across or whatever else, and this isn't really to turn into like a huge argument discussion. This is just to talk about the news and the stuff that came out. But the thing about it is that the people bitched because healing was a problem. Because they're like healing, you can look at and you can go and Google it and you can see just massive amounts of people that are talking about healing being an issue. So they go in and they nerf it. They should have not shadow nerfed it. They should have been upfront about what they were doing, but they go in and they nerf it. I commend them for saying, cool, we're not just going to nerf healing, we're also going to nerf damage in AoE. If they would have only nerfed healing and let damage be double stacked, then that's a problem. They didn't. They nerfed both, and they said, okay, cool, they're both nerfed, right? The problem is that where people don't, and I brought this up to Enigma as well, is if they would have just not done anything and then let it go, or they found a different fix but still allow for double stacking, guess what? All it's going to be is for one team or for a team of people to find the exploit to say, cool, we're going to have 99 healers and one damage dealer. And all of those buffs are going to stack. So now whoever's got more healers, that can just sit there and spam a fucking heal spell are going to win, because I can't kill it. There's no way for me to kill that. So there's like, the thing about it that I brought up to Enigma, and I say this to everybody, is that everybody's going to sit here and bitch about something. You're never, like, MMO players or players in general, you're not happy. You are happy. You want this change. You get the change. You don't like the change. I think they did it in a fair way. They didn't only just nerf one, they nerfed both to make them equally the exact same. They didn't sit there and say healers are going to get one. I do think you guys got shafted that you only have one weapon. I think that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I think
that's honestly my biggest gripe about the entire thing is, like, yeah, you can sit there and say, well, you should just use more fucking buffs. We don't really have that many buffs.
That's what I was going to say.
We have one fucking weapon, and we have three abilities.
Within time, I am sure they'll add more, and they need to. That needs to be something they do fairly.
I honestly don't know why they didn't release this game with at least two, maybe three.
At least two.
Yeah. I think 2 heals, fine. At that point, that's great. You have two different weapons. That also solves a lot of the issues, because it's in like, okay, cool. If you're gonna lay down a healing sacred ground as a separate healer, you need to communicate with them. Hey, we need to alter our buffs back and forth. So again, I didn't want to we're not turning this into like a he said or arguing kind of fest, but I'm more than happy on my own stream or Enigma stream or wherever to talk more about this and kind of get into our own personal opinions. But just so you know, there was a nerf, there was a patch that came out. They did turn on the transfers, and then they immediately turned it off because people were duping.
Well, you can't give your opinion then. Just not.
I'm not gonna necessarily give up. Go ahead and give your opinion. You can give your opinion. People in chat are giving the opinion. I'm just saying I'm not gonna argue back and forth. Like, I want to argue this point.
The biggest thing with me being a healer in that game, being a main healer in that game. Granted, I haven't gotten to end game. I got to 30 and said, all right, I'm done with this game, because I'm not gonna sit there and continue to grind past level 30. It's just way too much fucking work for me. But as one of the characters in the game, or as one of the people in our chat has said, and I believe that Obi, you are an endgame healer. As healers in this game, you literally have 3 abilities that you have to run to be a decent healer. You have Sacred Ground, Beacon of Lights, and Beacon and Lights of Brace. Right, those are your three main breadwinners, essentially. Right. The problem with that is that Sacred Ground is an AoE. That if you have somebody put a AoE directly on top of your AoE, it stacks their heal after that point, and yours becomes negated, essentially. So if you have a higher level healer, let's say if Obi was put down his AoE heal, and then I'm a lower level healer, I'm a level 30, I put mine directly down on top of that, they're getting my heals instead of Obi's heals. Right? So it fucks up people's abilities, it fucks up their CDs, it fucks up their mana usage. Because that completely goes out the window. Same thing for Beacon. Same thing for I believe actually that Lights Embrace is a single target, if I'm not mistaken. But that was my biggest issue. Was it's like at that point, it's a complete waste of mana. It's a complete waste of time to even drop those. Right?
Is that what it's doing now?
Yeah. After that ninja patch.
It's only wherever the two overlap. So like if there's
exactly.
not so if you look at a Venn diagram, right, wherever you're not gonna see it, wherever the middle is, like that's not going to apply, or it's going to apply one or the other. It just is not going to apply both.
It would work great if instead it took the top one is taking a percentage of both and adding it. So it's not a total percentage of both, but
it's the same way for the Ice Gauntlet AoE. As far as I know, like if you have one person puts an Ice Gauntlet AoE down, they're a higher level. You have another person put down an Ice Gauntlet. Whoever put the secondary Ice Gauntlet down, that's the one that you're gonna get the buff or the damage from, as far as I can tell. Now we kind of went back and forth on this because there's not a whole lot of footage out there of it happening in like a single target, like or a small form factor or whatever you want to call it, like a very directed way, right? There was one that was like a 2-3 people doing it in a duel, and then there was a video of a full war, which to me, the full war looked like they were walking out and not receiving heals, but to Sinan, he thinks that they were still receiving heals. I don't personally think they were, but we're not going to argue about that.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's like, as a healer main, I'm pissed because that shouldn't have happened. And again, I think the major reason why I'm pissed is because it was a ninja nerf, that nothing was said to anybody, nothing was really explained to anybody as to why they did it. I personally feel that they probably could have come up with a few different ways that they could have done that rather than doing the ninja nerf on the heals and the AoEs. Do something like Final Fantasy does, where they limit the amount of shit on your screen. Essentially, I think that would have been the better option. But
ninja nerfs should never be done. So I mean that's just they should never do shadow nerfs. They should never they should be upfront about any kind of nerf or buff that you're gonna do.
Yeah, hopefully from this point forward they won't.
Yeah,
since they got caught.
I mean the game still has potential. And it still is a fun game, and in my opinion it's still fun. But so that's New World. Let's go from one company to another company that people are pissed off about. Go Bungie. Enigma, I'm going to let you dive into this one because, bro, you are fucking hurt in the heart by this one.
I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm all that pissed off. I don't really play. I don't really play Destiny 2, but the one I saw the other day, a rumor, and then it got said yes, that's true last night when we were on your stream. But apparently with this next update or this next expansion, Bungie is forcing people to purchase the upgraded model for the expansion in order to get access into dungeons.
Yep.
Like that was crazy to me, man. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yep.
I don't understand that. And the biggest thing that pisses me off, I think, with it is just the fact that when Bungie left from Blizzard and when Bungie left from Activision, everybody was like, "Oh, but it's gonna be so much better. Bungie's a saint, Bungie can do no wrong." And I was like, I don't know about that, champ. I don't know about. I think Bungie had quite a few dealings and shady fucking options that they did when they were inside when they were still with EA or not EA, Activision and Blizzard. And it turned out correct. It turned out true. They are shady as fuck.
Well, so the thing about this that you have to remember too is that Bungie went down a route of making their game free to play. So Destiny is a free to play game. They got to make money somewhere. The problem that
locking people out of
I mean,
are they the dungeons specific to the DLC though?
Yeah.
Did every other DLC get dungeons that were available for everyone?
Yes.
I don't know.
The problem is not wherein lies that you have to buy the expansion to get dungeon. The problem is that you have to buy the extended version, the upgraded version of the expansion to get access to those dungeons. So you have to buy the collector's edition.
So you have to get the deluxe. You have to get the deluxe version, a deluxe edition version of the Witch Queen. To get access to the game. So you can't just buy it. You could buy. I think that's the thing. Is you can buy the expansion pack.
You can buy the expansion pack,
but you're not going to get the dungeons.
I'm not saying I don't think that you should have access, or I'm not saying that you should have access if you haven't bought the expansion pack. Yeah, I'm saying that if you bought the expansion pack and you didn't want to get the collector's edition or whatever you want to call it, you should still have access to those dungeons.
Yeah, deluxe editions and whatever those editions are, they should never be limiting content. They should be limiting, they should be adding, features like just cosmetic shit or stuff like that.
I think this speaks, and I actually have a question to the entire group here, but what are your guys' thoughts on just eliminating limited edition, special edition that doesn't include an actual physical statue or something? These ideas of I'm going to, you buy a deluxe edition, you're going to get a free skin or whatever else. I
don't think like I said, I don't think you need to eliminate them or whatever. I'm fine with them as long as, like I said, they're not limiting you from more content to the game.
Oh, so this is coming from Sigma, and I know Sigma knows what he's talking about because Sigma's a fucking Destiny aficionado nerd. He's saying that previously, all previous ones, you gained access to those dungeons through the season pass or the expansion. So
right, but now you have to buy the deluxe edition of the expansion, which they're offering 2 versions of the expansion.
Yeah. So and that's where it gets fishy. That's a no. That's a hard no.
That to me is just fishy as shit. I'm sorry. You can say, you know, oh, you know, they're not getting the money from Activision. They're not getting the money from Blizzard anymore, so they gotta make money. Bungie's making enough money off of Destiny and the cash shop that they've got inside of that. I can't remember what's called, but I think it's called Eververse or Everfirst.
Yeah, and
or
even just with
Everfrost,
all the
whatever.
hype around this, just selling the DLC at base price, you know, with all of it included, they would have easily made enough money.
Yeah.
I mean, what's
It's just very
the
greedy.
deluxe edition is what, $20 extra? Like
Probably 20 or
20.
30, yeah.
What impact would an extra $20 have on them for that? You know, like enough people probably would have still bought the deluxe and whatever edition there is if it didn't have the dungeons and it just had some deluxe edition stuff instead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
don't know.
as far as it looks with the last one, the deluxe edition for Beyond Light was.
I mean, just think of like Endwalker. If you bought Endwalker, but you didn't buy the deluxe
Exactly.
edition, so you don't get the
Right.
raids. Like,
Yeah, that's
It's crazy, man.
come on, man.
I don't know. That's
now I understand.
that's
why
not a good look.
there's the hate.
That's definitely not a good look on Bungie's part.
Which again, and here's the thing about Bungie, man, it's phenomenal that the community just can. I mean, it's almost like wow, man, the community just keeps going back. Like they keep getting
Yeah.
shit on and they keep going back. They're like, oh, we'll give you a new gun. All right, we're back in. So, DbD, Bill, I'm interested to hear your opinion, man, because I've been hearing some. I've been watching, or you know, I follow a lot of the people on Twitter. And this is a fucking spicy topic, man. DbD, if you're not
disgusting, is what it is.
yeah, if you're not familiar with what we're talking about, Dead by Daylight, Behavior Studios. I'm sure if you follow Bill's channel, you get that on Community Night. But Dead by Daylight is stepping into the NFT world.
Oh,
Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah. It's just a fucking scam, dude. That's all there is to it. NFTs are scams.
yeah, agreed.
That's really all I have to say about it. And the fact that a mainline gaming company is supporting something that's not only a scam, but it's also a detrimental to like the overall world scam with the amount of resources that are burned through the blockchains and shit like that. It's just bad. It's all bad, and it's not a good look for the company itself, and it's not a good look for gamers. Internet, like crypto and NFTs, like are just becoming more and more exploited, I guess I could say. Cryptocurrencies back like a couple years ago seemed like they were going into a route where they could be like seen as legitimate investment opportunities like the stock market and stuff like that. But these days it's either NFTs where you're not actually getting anything from it. It almost seems like money laundering in a way.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and then with modern day crypto, it's all pumping them schemes. The static coins stay static as they probably should. The volatilities went down with them for the most part, but anything else is just pumping them scam schemes, and especially in the influencer market. And I hope to fucking God that game developers don't start doing this shit too, like this. But
well, I mean, you already see companies like Mythic where they're doing Blankos, which is a complete blockchain NFT game. I mean, it's fucking wild, dude. You're basically exploiting your audience to make a profit, and that's disgusting. Yeah. I mean, it's and again, I mean, we're not going to go down the route of like NFTs and stuff like that. And like, as far as, you know, we all have our own personal beliefs. I would say do your research on NFTs. Like Bill said, cryptocurrency, the core behind cryptocurrency, brilliant, phenomenal idea. What it's morphed into in this fucking other world of NFTs is a completely different monster. You know, but it's very interesting, man. But do you think that behavior is going to continue? I mean, do you think they're going to stick to their guns, or do you think they're just going to fucking pull the plug on this?
They're going to lose everybody if they stick to their guns on this. They either need to pull it or they fail. People are already fed up with the game, as is with the new MMR system. They're already pissed off at behavior with the way that they're handling balancing, with the way that they're handling the matchmaking, with the way that the last like 2 years worth of killers have came out. People are fed up, and
that was my next question. Is like it definitely seems like over the past, I want to say like year, maybe more. I don't know for sure, but
it started with Deathslinger, and it's progressively like started sloping downwards since then.
So that was what I was thinking, is like I'm almost curious if they're just like, fuck it, like we're done, we're moving on to the next game. You know,
well, they don't even. I don't even think Behavior has a new game that they're working on.
They don't have a new game, and they just spent a bunch of resources like new generation updating, like character models and maps and stuff.
Because that's the only thing that I can think of is like if they're doing a bunch of this stuff, then it just sounds like it's a manufactured like failure. You know, like it's very clear that it's very clear that their community is not liking the changes, but they're going to just continue to ignore it. Like another gaming company that we know of, right?
But it has been a massive fail, and I'm surprised that they haven't rolled back the MMR system from what it is now, just because of how upset people are with it. It's basically dulled the game down to the point where there's no unique or fun builds to be had unless you're like an extremely skilled player and can get away with playing on a handicap.
Again, almost like another community in game we know, right?
The meta has always been a thing, but it's never been as bad and as it has been since they added matchmaking. Since there's no ceiling to the matchmaking thing, it used to be you could raise up to a point doing pretty well anything because matchmaking and your rank weren't like synonymous. So you could get rank 1 without actually having like a super high MMR just by playing the game enough. And that promoted build variety, fun builds, stuff like that. You still had your tryhards, but now it's uncapped and your rank is directly related to your MMR. So people see no other option once you hit a certain point other than running the same 4 or 5 perks on every single survivor and killer.
I love. Go ahead.
It's a combination of poor character design from the killer's perspectives, poor perk design from the survivor perspectives, and now with this NFT thing, it just feels like they are trying to. It feels exploitative.
Yeah. Well, and they're losing an entire killer, aren't they? Like an entire killer and survivors with the.
So if you bought them prior to, I think it's already closed. I'm not sure. You might have a few more days left to get it, but if you've bought them prior to it shutting down, you get to keep them. But we're
talking about the Stranger Things.
Stranger
Things. Yeah. You keep the killer, you keep the survivors. The perks are going into the pool of general perks.
Gotcha.
But the map is completely disappearing.
That's crazy, man.
Yep. I will say
I don't play Dead by Daylight. I'm not at all interested in it. Really, it's not my kind of steez. But yeah, that's definitely that's definitely, man. What is it with scummy fucking companies these days, dude? Like I don't understand how hard.
Because I don't think Behavior used to be.
Yeah, I don't understand how hard it is to just be a good fucking gaming developer.
Well, the problem is that you've got, and I mentioned this too. I was like, these people started off, and Enigma kind of balked at me a little bit on this one, but at the core, I still believe that people that start these gaming companies, people that still believe in it, they started off as gamers. Right, like they started off at gamers, and
the only argument that I had is that the people that make them are the people that started out as gamers. It's the execs, it's the people that are funding them that are the ones that are. Well,
I still believe it. Like
they couldn't give a shit about fucking games.
I still believe like the people that are in charge of Bungie, they are gamers at their core. I mean, I know those guys, and not personally, obviously, but I have followed them for a long time, and they started off as gamers, but now it's just completely different. But like, I for 100% believe that majority of Behavior probably is not behind this, that you do have some, asshole that believes in NFTs or just wants to hype on the NFT, like jump on the NFT train. And it's just like, we're going to take it and go down this route and I love this quote that's from IGN. The quote comes from Sean Prescott. I'm sorry, PC Gamer, Sean Prescott. He said that, not film Pinhead or anything Dead by Daylight Pinhead. It's the character model that you can interact with in the actual game, and which is viewable via thousands of images found on Google. The innovation here is that now you can pay for it and in theory own it. ... You could do this anyway by using your imagination. Like, it's like buying the NFT does not give you any kind of copyright claim after all, which would be more convincing indication of ownership. Not only that, but the Pinhead NFT grants a chance to access the Hellraiser chapter of Dead by Daylight, though it's not guaranteed, which is also bizarre, possibly because the NFT just isn't actually worth shit. Like, hey man, I commend them for that, but like,
Yeah.
The fact that they're also tying in that the like, not only are you buying an NFT, which you own no rights to Pinhead IP. You own, like, you're not owning anything. Like, you
quote unquote own that JPEG,
right,
or
that image, or
image,
that whatever, like
that character model. Yeah.
But by the way, just so everyone knows, if you are getting into the NFT world, none of that holds up in court. None of it is is a legal binding contract, no matter what any NFT site will tell you. You don't physically own that.
Coming, like, living with an artist, okay? I was actually, when NFTs first became a thing, I was like really like educating myself on this, because I for a second thought that, okay, this could be potentially the direction that digital media ends up going, digital art ends up going. I want to educate myself so that if this is the way artists end up doing their stuff in the future, I want to be knowledgeable enough to be able to help her out and making sure that she's following all the best routes for her and her digital art. And then it became a scam.
So
I really hope we don't see other games and developers do this.
Oh, if you don't think that Activision's not going to jump on this shit with fucking WoW or whatever else, you're crazy.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Battlefield.
I don't think Battlefield will do it, but I don't put it past Activision for Call of Duty, man. I don't put it past a lot of companies. But I don't know, man. NFTs it's a dangerous world. Cryptocurrency.
I could sadly see Riot doing this.
Oh, fuck yeah, Riot will do it. Riot will do it in a
NFT
heartbeat.
Teemo.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It'll be
every Teemo queue is just another Bitcoin down the drain.
Yep.
Yeah.
Guys, get your questions prepared, because we're about to fire off through those. So a couple quick hits that we're going to run through. God of War gets a PC date. It is January.
Time.
I never wanted to play God of War because it was on PlayStation. Now I'm like,
I'm so excited for it, man.
January 14th, you'll officially be able to buy it. You can pre-order it right now on Steam. I don't know why you're going to pre-order it. There's no bonuses to pre-ordering it, but you can.
I wouldn't.
Enigma, you're gonna enjoy it thoroughly. I played through a decent amount of it. I played it in a very subpar way and burnt myself out on it. But
the only problem that I have with it is that because it's taken them so fucking long to release it, I have watched like 6 people play it. But right. I'm still so excited for it, because the way that they did the Norse mythology, it's very, very accurate.
Yeah,
they put a lot of time into making sure that mythos was very accurate.
I wish
they should. That's good.
I wish.
And I've actually looked into it, and I guess like old school Norse mythology does have Thor as like a short, dumpy kind of.
Yeah, I looked into it as well.
No, that's not true. There is actually no depiction. We don't have any depictions other than, for the most part.
Is there no written descriptors?
Excuse me, Chris Hemsworth is fucking Thor, and that's the only thing that I need to know.
Written descriptors when it comes down to Norse is not really something to go off of, because they didn't really describe features. They described the base level features, like his hair was brown or his hair was gold, and then they described other like very, very, very surface features. They would have never described it as like, oh, he was a heavy set gentleman with a podgy belly, and they would have never described it as that, because that would have been rude.
I don't know.
If you actually go in, there's been a couple of when the trailer for that came out, there was a couple of Norse mythology experts from several universities that came out and were like, okay, this is a little off, this is a little weird, but because there's no descriptors of any of the gods other than Odin, which we have a lot of descriptors and paintings of, he's like, I guess it's just artistic liberties when it comes to what these guys wanted to do, and that's fine, and I'm completely okay with that. I think the biggest part that I have with it is it seems like it's going down that route of, oh, everybody's body is healthy. That's the biggest thing.
So wait, can I
should-
just hear you say that you're okay with artistic design then?
Shut up. Go back to drinking your fucking dirt coffee.
So then I gotta go outside. I gotta get some dirt.
Okay, well, God of War, January 14th, 2022, PC, and all of its beautiful glory. You can go play it. And then you can wait 5.5, 6, 10, 8 years for God of War 2 to come out for PC and play that.
I'm hoping that's not the case, honestly.
Doom Eternal is getting Horde mode. That arrives next week. If you guys are playing Doom Eternal.
Is that a free update?
It is a free update. It comes out on the 26th.
It's actually pretty cool.
Yep. So, never played Doom Eternal. Played the first Doom. But Doom, I think Horde mode makes sense. It's cool. Get in there, be visceral, kill a bunch of shit.
Is this the new Doom? The
newest Doom, yeah.
Eternal is the newest Doom.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Elden Ring delayed until February, which it was moved into from what, January to February? Is that the move?
Yeah, so it's only got pushed back a month.
Yeah. And then there was also
Which
some other stuff that came out, right?
Yeah, so they announced 3 months before the game came out, because that was the date that the pre-orders were supposed to go live, that the game was being delayed for another month up to February. But in the same day, they also announced that they are doing a public network test and are allowing people to sign up. And it's you have a random chance of being selected for the network test. It's going to be interesting. I have a feeling this might have something to do with something that happened a few months ago, where in interviews they said that invasions were only going to be solo based. So I think on top of this being like a stress test, server based test, like with connectivity, with co-op invasion, stuff like that, I have a feeling this is going to be kind of like gauging community opinion on whether this system is going to work or not, or if they need to make further alterations to how invasions work.
I mean,
What do you think about this, Bill?
About solo invasions not being a thing?
Yeah, and the delay in general.
If they did it far enough in advance that I'm fine with it. From the quote that they said, let me see if I can find it real quick. It doesn't seem like it's due to the game being unfinished. If anything, the game seems like it is in a finished state. It's just more of a balancing loop. Let's be honest.
While he's finding that really quickly as well, if you want to hear more about Elden Ring and Bill's opinions, you can go to his YouTube. He has several videos of it.
That.
You can hit me with a big fatty downvote, because that's what the community likes to do to me. So. But there is a lot of good conversation that actually goes down in the comments when people actually watch the video and don't just downvote me because of a thumbnail. So the quote is, Elden Ring will be released on February 25th, 2022, as the depth and strategic freedom of the game exceeded initial expectation and needs fine-tuning. So it's not exactly a unfinished game type thing. It seems like they've got a few mechanics in place that are not interacting with each other in a way that they want them to, and it's more of a balancing aspect.
Question, Bill. So this is a very different route than From Software has normally taken with their games, right? Like normally From Software pretty quiet on the front until it's like release time, and then we start getting, you know, the teaser trailers.
3 months before the game comes out tends to be when like heavy information starts flowing for it.
So
like, they'll announce it like a couple years ahead of time, do like one like small teaser that has nothing really going, and then maybe a year out you'll get like a 5-minute gameplay showcase, and then they really start heavy marketing it 3 months up until launch.
So
that still holds true to this current rendition, right?
The thing I'm talking about more or less is like the like testing. This is
the first network test I think they've ever done.
Right. So like, is this? I guess, and I'm not devil's advocate or anything like that. I'm just wondering, like, does this give any kind of worries about being like this is not the norm that From Software kind of does? That the game may not be what everything, or do you think, and I guess too, do you think that the community is overhyping this game? I guess my thing is like, is this gonna be not anywhere close to Cyberpunk, but like I start to have this feeling of like this is getting into Cyberpunk-ish territory with like hype and
But
like
with Cyberpunk, they did the delays.
yeah,
Yeah,
Cyberpunk's. I'm talking Cyberpunk's way out there. I'm just talking about like like the little like oh that's a little bit of Cyberpunk. Is that like any kind of fear? No.
It's definitely overhyped. I think every major game that comes out is overhyped. I don't think any game is stand up 100% to community expectation. And my comment section on my YouTube videos is a case in point of that. There are people that are willing to die on a hill that this game is going to be perfect and the best game ever and everything that it's going to be. They will not accept any form of criticism, whether it's major, minor, or whatnot.
Yeah.
But
that's going to be from any community.
I mean that's the same. That's the same thing that happened with Cyberpunk. Even with the glaring issues and the broken state that it was released in, there was still those people that were like, "No, this is the best game ever."
Yeah,
but that's the same kind of people who, when the game releases and there are bugs, will turn sides immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah. As far as like the delay doesn't bother me because it's far enough out that they know what to expect to get the game out on a time. They realize that there are some balancing issues, and a month is not enough time to do any substantial changes to a game. So I am banking that since they 3 months out from what its initial release was going to be, are delaying it to February, know that yes, the game is finished. We don't need to take any more time because a month isn't going to be enough to finish a game that's unfinished. We just need enough time to fine tune the numbers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do think that the project is ambitious overall. They've never done an open world system before. I think that in itself is a little bit scary. But to take it another direction, From Software does tend to be fairly innovative with their new IPs. Bloodborne was a very different style combat from Dark Souls, where it was more of an aggressive style. It had new mechanics that promoted that. Yes, a lot of the elements were the same, but from a gameplay and from a thematic perspective, it was very much out there. And then Sekiro is, I don't even consider it a Souls-like. It's
I'm gonna
so
ask
different
if people actually consider Sekiro like a Soulsborne game or whatever.
They lump it into like, if somebody's gonna do like an all From Software games challenge run, they'll lump it in. It's called Soulsborne Akiro, but it is not a Souls game at heart.
Yeah.
It is a good game. It is a solid game, but it shares so little similarities to what a Souls like is.
I think Soul the title or the
It's
the
overused.
acronym Souls like is like a survival or zombie horde or whatever you want to call it. It's just overused and oversaturated.
Overused, and they pin it onto anything that slightly resembles a Souls like.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Speaking of Souls like, you know, they fucking Sin thinks that New World's a Souls like.
I believe that
It slightly resembles it.
I believe that it has Souls-like elements to it.
therefore it's a
I
Souls-like.
had to do that. I don't want to start an
You
argument.
can. We're not going to. I'll fucking slap the shit out of you once we get out of this damn thing, and we can discuss it there. So,
But yeah, I'm not concerned about
Features.
I think the game is going to
That's
be
all I'll
good.
say.
I'm interested on why they're doing the network test. So there's some rattlings in the community that this delay and this network test were prompted due to over the weekend. So Monday they announced the delay in the network, or Monday or Tuesday, one of the two. But over that previous weekend, there was 27 seconds of gameplay content leaked, and it was pretty low quality. It was
low
not
quality,
super
low quality
impressive.
by the means of the actual video quality, not low quality in the game itself.
It could be argued that it's both. So from what we understand about the leak, it was taken from Xbox One, which is the weakest system that the game's going to be running on. It was supposedly taken on 720p recording, like capture card software. It was supposedly, there's something else about it that I can't remember. And then also the leak was posted onto Twitter, so you had Twitter compression.
So
doing
this is
stuff
the
to the
worst
video
of the
as well.
worst of the worst.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and people were taking this as, oh, the game's a big pile of shit. They're delaying it because people are calling them out on. Oh, it was supposedly a 3-month-old version of the build.
So
It
pulling a
wasn't
Battlefield.
current
Got
version,
it.
It was
What is it? What is
version.
it with games and 3-month-old patches, man? Like, did they
I-
not have newer patches?
I don't know,
Apparently
but
not.
that
Or 3 months out from
That-
release, they're just like, fuck it, we don't need to develop that shit anymore.
Yeah. That's how they're gonna start releasing
Right.
games. Actually.
But a lot of people think that that's the reason that this is being spurred on, which I can't believe that, because they have, like, the network test trailer was footage from the previous trailer, but I think that the delay in the network patch being like something to sign up for on the same day and them announcing on the same day is nothing to do with the leak itself. I think it's just bad timing.
Yeah.
But the leak did show that the jump button works.
That's good. Yeah, I heard about
That's
that.
good.
So cool. All right, last two things, questions, and then we're gonna get on the outro, because if I'm not, I'm gonna literally piss myself. So, Resident Evil 4 VR releases tomorrow on Quest 2. If anybody wants to play that, you can go download that on
I
Quest
love
2.
Resident Evil 4. I need VR to play it.
Yep.
I have Resident Evil 4 on everything.
It's a great game.
It has been built from the ground up for VR. So, reworked for VR on that.
I was about to say reworked for
Yeah.
VR. It hasn't been built from the
I mean, the
ground
way
up.
that they described it, it was built from the ground up for it. So that's their words, not mine.
Resident Evil 4 VR.
VR, yeah. This one is pretty big, but I'm not going to spend too much time. Unless you guys want to talk about it, then I'm going to go pee and you guys can talk about this. But every single PS3 game is now playable on PC via an emulation.
I'm kind of stoked. about
Cool,
this,
go
man.
talk about it.
Really
I can
happy
go
about
pee.
this.
I am
This-
actually kind of stoked about this, just
Yeah.
just for the simple fact that, like, PlayStation 3 was actually a decent time for PlayStation, and they had a lot of
100%.
really good games.
the
Lot of
fact
really
that-
good
It's great.
That these games potentially, digital specifically, could have been lost in the future. I know there was a big scare about that earlier too.
Yeah.
There's a huge
this,
scare. And
that saves
yeah.
them. You know, this is huge. I mean, God, there's so many digital games I loved on the PS3.
Oh, you
And for
had
people
you
who
had
don't
games
know
like
what-
Souls, the Soulsborne games, the
Yeah.
the Dark Souls games, the Bloodborne. You had a bunch of games that would not at the moment be accessible, other than I think Dark Souls is actually on PC now, but
Dark Souls is always.
yeah.
Yeah, it was Demon Souls that was
Demon Souls, that was the one I was
PS3.
thinking of. Yeah, Demon Souls and Dark Souls were the two that I was like, okay, I'm not a Dark Souls fan. Like, I don't play those types of games. They
Yeah.
piss me off. I hate them. I hate them with a passion. But I do want to play Bloodborne.
Yeah, but I mean, this
Um,
this just gives so many good titles that were Sony exclusives too. You know, like
Yeah.
the Infamous
And for
brand.
people that don't know what they're talking about, the PS3 had a big digital library that was not. It at this point has not been ported to either the PS4 or the PS5 for
Yeah.
whatever reason. There's no way to access PS3 games on those consoles. And also the PS3s being what they are, the motherboards, just like any computer motherboard, have a CMOS battery. And if those CMOS batteries go out,
Done
you
for.
can replace it, but it's going to, like, you're still not going to be able to ping to these servers, so your digital copies were basically bricked at that point.
That's crazy, man.
Didn't know that. Yeah, wow. So
But yeah,
I'm-
you had a lot of really good games, like you said, Infamous,
Metal Gear Solid 4.
Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah.
You had Last of Us 2. Never gonna play that game, but The Last of Us 1, I do actually want to play that.
Last of Us 1 is a good time, I
Yeah.
will say. Yeah, so many. And
The
there's one.
Uncharted games.
Oh yeah, Uncharted. I was gonna bring up. Movies coming out too. I think, or
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
With Tom
Eventually.
Holland in it.
yeah, Tom Holland.
Holland.
Yep.
Spider-Man.
Dude, there was this indie game that I loved that I'm so excited to play. Dead Nation. Don't know if anyone played
I'd
it.
heard about
You
that.
can
Yeah.
play that on
Amazing.
PC.
I haven't never played
You
it.
can play
but-
it on Steam.
Dead Nation? No,
Yeah.
it's not on Steam.
Yes, you can.
I've checked.
Go look. It's on Steam.
We're just gonna.
We can do it live. Yeah,
Silently
we're
sit
gonna
here.
wait. Yes, we're gonna wait.
Nope, not on
Per-
Steam.
Bro, I have it in my
Persona-
Steam library.
It's not on Steam.
Persona 5 is another one that I the Persona franchise in general.
I wanted to play
always
it.
wanted
I never
play
played Persona.
Though Persona, the new one at least, I think is out on PC, right? I don't think that they've
The
ported
new
it
one, I
over,
think,
right?
yeah, but not the old one. You're probably thinking about a different dead game. I don't know what you're thinking about, but it's not
I'm
Dead
telling you,
Nation.
Dead Nation, man. Anyway,
Top down zombie
Yeah.
shooter.
yeah, Dead Nation, top down. I know what game you're talking about. I have it in my Steam library. I will look it up.
I'm gonna look in your Steam library. Don't you take the
Okay,
time to do whatever
anyway.
you want to do.
Guys, if we don't have any questions, that wraps up the show.
Hell yeah.
I'm giving you
Well,
guys.
we did have one
Early.
question from Sigma, but you know, I don't know if you
Okay,
want to
go ahead.
answer
What is it?
it. Let me see. Where was it? Bear
We
with
got
me,
time.
bro.
I mean, we're technically we're 13 minutes short, so giving you guys 13 minutes. time.
Sigma, this is a very important question, so I want you guys to think about this. Sigma says, have y'all heard of the Final Fantasy XIV's free trial that lets you play from level 1 to 60 and includes critically acclaimed expansion, Heaven's Sword?
Hashtag not an ad, by the way.
Yeah.
Hashtag not an ad, but I do highly recommend y'all do that.
Yeah,
You don't have it in your Steam library. You don't. It's not there.
bro, I'm telling
Proven
you,
wrong.
Dead Nation is in my fucking Steam library. Anyway,
Telling you.
Enigma's gonna teach me how to properly do dungeons. He's
I
gonna
will.
be. He's gonna be
Did
big
you
boy
did you
tank for
transfer
me.
over?
Yeah, I'm transferred over.
Nice, boo, nice.
yeah. So we're gonna lose
No.
Enigma here soon to Endwalker.
Sure.
November 4th, but because this show. Let's see. Hold on. November 4th.
Not gonna be
Day
here.
bef-
I will be here,
The-
and we will have Lost Ark footage, boys and girls, that I can play and show.
Ooh,
I'm super excited about that.
fun.
It's going to be from the 4th to the 11th. You got to pay to get into the closed beta.
I don't even care if it's podcast week that the Endwalker comes out. You guys ain't seen me.
Dude,
The
just
fuck-
play
the fuck I am
Endwalker
not.
while doing the podcast.
If I have to
Let's
if
go
I
to
gotta be here,
Cyberpunk.
if I have to be here on Lost Ark launch day for the beta for the podcast, your ass has to be here. I don't want to hear about it.
I don't even know why you're worried about Lost Ark. It's not gonna release
Bro,
anyway.
get the fuck out of here, man. That it's gonna be the best thing of all time. I'm so excited. Can't wait. Cannot wait. And you're excited too. Don't sit there and lie. We sat there and watched the videos of the classes, and you're like, oh man, that looks good.
It does look good. I'm excited for it, but obviously, if the beta is releasing the same week that Endwalker is, fuck.
Honestly, I don't think it's ever coming out.
You're full of shit. Full of shit.
Thank you, Scruffy.
The game is coming out. Anyway,
I take back everything I've said about you drinking dirt coffee.
I don't.
At least for the next 24 hours.
It's probably got shit in it.
I'll take it.
So,
Shit coffee.
Bill, what do you got going on this next couple weeks for your streams and your content, my bud?
I am going to be. I'm actually this weekend going to be diving into Dark Souls 3 Cinders mod, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
Is that a
I
content
haven't-
mod?
It's basically a full game rework mod where they
Overhaul,
added,
kind of.
yeah, they added a
Cool.
bunch of new spells, a bunch of weapons from the previous games in Bloodborne. I'm also planning on getting into the Convergence, which is another overhaul mod similar to Cinders, but it goes a step further and actually adds elements from Sekiro and stuff in there. They
Oh wow.
have changed some of the boss's movesets. Like, I don't know if y'all are familiar with Dark Souls 3 that much, but Pontiff Sullivan.
Mhm.
He has his phase 1 where he does his normal stuff, and then in phase 2, when he would usually summon the clone, he pulls out a spear and basically gets Sword Saint Ishin from the end of Sekiro's moveset.
Nice.
Interesting. Enigma, what you got? You got anything going on these next couple weeks?
I will forever continue to strive to play fucking The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. I am bound and determined to play that during October and hopefully beat it, but I'm hopeful. It's probably not going to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's
But
rough.
I do definitely want to play some more VR games. Demio for sure. I
What
literally
about
just bought
if
that.
League of Legends had a VR game?
I'd probably play it.
Dude, I'd
considering
love to have a
there
league.
is-
I'd love to have a MOBA.
There is no MOBAs that are on
VR.
on the Oculus.
that'd be dope.
The VR headsets.
That'd be cool.
I want to play Siege in VR. I think that would be cool.
Play
That'd be
Pavlov.
wild. You'd have a heart attack if you get wall banged in that.
I think there is a game like Siege. I don't know if what's it called, that one
Pavlov.
that's like really hardcore. No,
Well,
not
there's
not
On-
Pavlov.
come on,
Pavlov,
Onward?
CS:GO.
Come on, Onward.
Onward. Yeah, can't you wallbang in Onward?
Yeah.
Well, probably, but I wouldn't compare it to CS or Rainbow Six though.
Well, I'm
Onward's
saying is
Onward's more.
you can wallbang
Well,
and it's
so it's
yeah.
Rainbow Six.
It's Rainbow Six.
Gotcha.
It's the most toxic thing I know of is wallbanging.
Scruffy, what about you? What you got going on?
New PC, baby.
That's right.
New PC coming.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like less than like 5 days. It'll be coming.
all the
hopefully,
Terraria mods. All the Terraria mods.
honestly,
Every one of them.
definitely a thing I'm gonna do. Also Minecraft mods and all of the Minecraft.
Are you gonna have 4K
shaders and-
Minecraft?
Yeah, easily. I've been waiting for that. Oh my God, I'm so
I am
excited.
gonna laugh. I'm gonna laugh
Scruff, do
so
you have
hard.
VR?
No, I don't. Unfortunately.
I am gonna laugh so hard if you do that and you burn your fucking Randy.
Oh, I'll be so sad. Is it under warranty if I burned it because I played Minecraft?
Low key, I've heard that there's actually some like decent benefits for if you have like night terrors or anything like that to like sleeping in VR in like a digital space. Like there's people that'll like sleep in their homes in Minecraft in VR.
Bro,
That doesn't surprise me.
I
That-
move way too
wow.
fucking much to have something like that on my face.
Me
when I'm
too.
sleeping.
Yeah, that's me too.
That doesn't surprise me though. I know that they've made a new VR headset that's like designed for sleeping. It's like a full dive almost. It's
I'd try that though if it's something that I can move around with. But,
you don't move around with it. It like locks your head in place like on.
Nope.
Oh no,
Absolutely
never.
not. I am
Would
not
not
going to
do
be
that.
locked in place.
No.
No. If I'm not letting
Um,
my wife lock me in place in bed, I'm not letting some VR headset do it.
Yeah.
But
But,
I have heard that it's very comfortable. So
There you go. But to Sharon,
I think they also want like $699 for it though.
yeah, no. But yeah, I'll be streaming a lot more, which is amazing because I'll be setting up a dual PC setup. And get that going. So there'll be tons of more streams from me with games that'll look beautiful. And also a little sneak peek of something that I bought specifically for this PC because I'm going to kind of display it a little bit and soup it up. I bought my first figurine of an anime that I just finished.
Oh,
We
God.
have
Ooh.
Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yusuke Urameshi with the spirit gun.
Oh,
I love it. It's actually really dope too. Like it's a very well like
you
portrayed
gonna
figurine.
have Yu Yu Hakusho going on in that little
In-
display in there?
That was a thought of mine. I was gonna see if I could find a gif of him shooting his spirit gun and then line it up
good.
because I think that'd be sweet. So yeah, I'm super excited.
Fucking
My
weebs, bro.
my excitement is immense.
Not about-
Then you never made it through any of the animes, did you?
I made it through 2 of them. I guess. Well, one, I'm gonna be real quick. I'm gonna be streaming. Stevens, you're very happy. League is taking a back seat. So New World will be up for a while. And then I'm now diving into VR streams. We've gotten everything set the way I like it, so I can get it done. So we're gonna be doing VR stuff quite a bit. And then obviously Lost Ark's gonna be coming around the corner. I'm gonna be hitting that up pretty hot and heavy when that launches from the 4th to the 11th to the 11th, and then Battlefield whenever that comes out. But okay, to answer the question, yeah, I made it through Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood, Brotherhood,
Good one. Yeah, Brotherhood. That's
Brotherhood.
a good one.
not bad. I liked it. And then the other one was I never got
Helsing,
I never
right?
got into Van Helsing.
Oh no.
But the other one was what's the one about the MMO?
SAO?
SAO. Yeah. Sword
Yeah,
Art Online.
yeah.
I didn't think you'd make it through that one.
I couldn't.
Yeah. Honestly, I recommended that to you, and I'm sorry. I thought it was a good show, and it is kind of a good anime for beginners. But I think your perspective on animes is actually a lot better than beginners. You probably spotted a lot of the flaws and plot points that were not so great. So
Yeah, I just
I'm glad you like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, though.
that's
yeah,
a
it
good
was
one,
good.
though.
Yeah, Full Metal Alchemist out of Brotherhood. I like.
I still think you should watch Trigun.
Trigun over Helsing for me. Yeah,
I just here's the thing, guys. It's like one. I don't know. I listen to you guys sit there and talk about like, oh my god, this anime, oh my, like that character that you held up. Like again, it's the same way for me with the MCU. Like I can watch MCU over and over and over and over and over again. I can go rewatch it or whatever. I can, I love it because that's just what I'm into. But I don't get it, man. I've tried. Now this is now another time that I've tried to get into the anime culture, and I just can't.
I think you're trying too hard. I think you're trying too hard to get into the anime culture. If you enjoy the anime, then that's one thing. If we're not trying to get you to be a fucking weeb.
No, I know that. But what I'm saying is like, it's a lot of it comes down to like a lot of like the base core styling, the writing, the culture of what they are like. That's
why I recommend a lot of those older ones, is because the newer ones do have rather shit writing. For
like the SAO stuff where it's just like. And it goes to cliche, it's that cliche, shitty, crappy, just no, I gotta fight for my right to be a prince. I'm like, God, get the fuck out of here, man. Nobody gives a shit, dude. You're a snobby little stuck-up asshole in a video game.
And
fuck off.
You'll see that in a lot of animes.
And
like
also
that nowadays,
too, like and I know that this is just me being like me and being a dumb American, whatever you want to call it, but like it's like the underlining tones of like. I guess I look at it as shit writing because I'm like, you are purposely leaving plot holes in places where there should be fucking things filled, but I know what you're wanting me to do. Like you're wanting me to see beyond like the thing and like put in my own like feelings and emotions and put stuff together. And I'm like, no. I go to watch a movie so I can watch it from start to finish and get everything there. Like even Inception, I'm cool with at the very end being like, was the man asleep or was he not asleep? Was he in a dream or not in a dream? Like that's fine.
Wow.
But this is like stuff where it's like, again, watching SAO, and it's like 1 minute the dude is like fucking holier than thou, righteous, and then the next episode he's a complete dickhead, and it's like, why are you like the way you are? You know what I mean? Like it's
the holy ones are always the dickheads. You'll find out.
Anyways.
Yeah, sorry.
Has a lot to do with gaming. Let's wrap up real quick.
Yeah, we can go talk about this after the show if you guys want to talk about this. But in any case, guys, episode 46 is in the bags. Thank you guys for being here and hanging out. As always, we love all the people that come by and hang out in our chats.
Most of them.
Oh, love.
Love.
But yeah, we love all of you guys that are coming and girls that come out and hang out in our chat and chill here. We do this live now every other Thursday at 10:30 Eastern. Yeah, and if you can't make it live, like I said, go and check us out on the interwebs, whether it's Spotify or Google or wherever.
Anchor.fm/prepatch podcast. We make it
there
easy.
You can go
Over eight listening locations for you to enjoy.
And follow us on Instagram and TikTok now too.
Hell yeah.
We're on TikTok.
We're on TikTok.
I'm out. I'm done.
We got a lot of views on TikTok too.
I'm off this show. I'm
Hell
done.
yeah, bro.
Find yourself a new fucking person. I'm out.
I need to get some more.
Wait, let's be real though. You probably watch the most TikTok out of all of us.
I do. I
always
used to. That's true. That's true. For my job, I legitimately had to for my job. Now I'm so happy I got out of that job and I no longer have to fucking watch TikTok. So we broke Bill. He's just saying love. Guys, on that note, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. We will catch you in 2 weeks right here on the Pre-Patch Podcast. See you guys.
Place to be.
Leave it dirty, baby. See you in the promised land. Deuces.
Installation.